Hello traders, this is Alex with the StockMatrix program. We have a new trade that came in Friday. Today is Saturday evening. I didn't get a chance to put it out on time, but Google got filled. This is our first trade in this moon period. It went short. Apparently, again, they don't know how to read a spreadsheet, and it's a big gap down, I guess. I don't know how that happens. Anyway, you can see here that this was the trade, and I don't publish this. This is just kind of for me, but again, I keep track of the index, which is right here, right? This is the index, and these are the short-term trends that are up or down, and they're both up right now, and long-term trends are 7 up. So, of course, the short-term trend usually gives you an indicator a little before. But you can see we had a pretty good pump in this thing, 464,000 on the index. Again, I don't do this every day. Sometimes I do it twice a day. But you can see back in the day, looks like 471 back in December 7th was the highest I posted for the total of these stock prices, right? Add them up, 100 shares, right? Take them times 100 of these prices here, and that's what you get here. Total them up, that's the index. Anyway, I keep a track of that index, kind of for my own guide. It gives me an overall picture, I guess, of these 17 important stocks. So anyway, we had one trade, and that was Google, GOOGL. This chunk of the program, I'm going to go through the actual trade on bar chart. Again, I use bar chart and keep a portfolio there because it's free. But let's type in Google. Again, that's our trade we did. I'm going to take the A, which has a lot more data in the previous, back years ago. Again, here's the chart, stochastic volume, annual income, that kind of stuff, Greeks. But we're going to go to the option pricing. We're going to go and pick out our time frame first. Now, April doesn't have enough time. It only has 68 days left. The program, KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid, is 90 days in or more, if we can. So 97 on May is perfect. So we got May, and we did have calls on, but now we're going to buy puts. Currently, the price is 185.34. So I usually go one strike in the money or two, depending if it's too close to the strike. But it's at 185, 190 is one strike in. That's perfect. That's perfect what I'd want. Currently closed at 1270. We'll have a better fill than that from where we, the time frame we did it. But I'm going to put it in as that for now. So, and then we'll change it so you can see how you can do that. And then you add to portfolio matrix. Again, we did puts, not calls. So we're betting on the market going down. We got to change the date to Friday. We're going to put in 1270. I know that we're going to get a better fill because I already looked. We do one. Now this is when you close it out, right? And I put a $1 fee, so I know up in my top there, if I have $35 worth of fees, I did 35 trades. It's just something for me to cheat. Hopefully that doesn't affect me, $1. And then you apply. You can add notes here and stuff, which I normally do. Is actually what we're trading. Let's go to the stats page. And again, we had some annuals came in. NVIDIA, Google, which is interesting, and JPM, the diamond, and the coin. The coin also had, these are GAN numbers off the highs and lows. I take 45s, right? 45, 90, 80, 180, 360, you get the picture. Anyway, these are all 45s. Yellows are real close or on it. Again, we had one came in on coin and the timing and off the high and low both. So coin is an interesting one. Now that wasn't our trade. We had Google. We did have one here. It's coming into the 855, which is the actual number here in a couple weeks. Google just made a new high here earlier this week. Meta was the only one that made a new high. That's been a rocket ship. Again, I'm betting that they're going to push it up to try to get a split so the public can dump and pump. So anyway, this is the matrix part. Oh yeah, one other thing that's kind of important to me. Again, if you followed me a little bit, I like the solar eclipses. We're going to be coming into a 45. Again, this next one, which is March 29th, we're at 48 days. Today's Saturday, so it'll be 40, 47, 46, and then 45. So it must be on Monday or Tuesday. We'll have 45 days, basically a month and a half, right, prior to this next solar eclipse. Pretty important to me. Let's quickly review the chart of Meta or Google, and you can see we've had. This is where we had the stop. The market made new highs. Again, I like threes in trading. 1, 2, and this is 3. I like that third pop. And then I wouldn't have, personally, I wouldn't have probably bought that up there. But, again, the system don't care. Shit, it might have went up and made 20 grand or something. But anyway, it got stopped out. The system really, even though this just started January 6th. Just a poke in the day. We got filled right in here in this area, so that was actually a loss. But really the trend got broke here and didn't get stopped out to here. Uh, uh, just so you kind of understand that the January 6th starting date was just fictitious, made up. Well, I think it was actually a moon. I didn't want to do it on the first. Um, Again, these charts, Google now is in the flip stage. You got Microsoft, kind of a banger. It's been stopped in, stopped out. Apple is kind of the same way, got stopped in at the high. These markets tend to push up into these zones to run the stops. Again, Apple was one of those I mentioned in the last video that if you missed this, like me, I didn't get in there at that high. The system did, of course, but bought the absolute high with that call. And if you'd missed it and you're still bullish Apple, this might be an opportunity to buy some calls, or stocks, and you have to put your stops on here if you actually do the stocks. I won't go through all these charts. Lynn was one that kind of had a big fire up. Adobe's another one that has massive gaps. Just couldn't get any strength at all. IBM, again, the spreadsheets were broken and they had a huge gap. Must have been in the quarterly earnings. Jeez, these guys just drives me insane. And in this day and age, they have gaps all over the place. Again, JPM has been a good trade. So I want to give you a little private viewing into one of my pages. It's the moons. Just so you know that this data can be, with an ephemeris, or there's stuff online you can copy paste, but you can go out and get all kinds of data. I go out to 2026. Again, you can see I highlight the solar eclipses and the lunar eclipses. I'm experienced at those and comfortable with the math. But that's just a little look at where I come up with those data on these right here, right? And this is all the charts, right? So all these are quarter moons. I don't do the waxing moon and all that. That's too short a term. But the quarter moons give you about 7 days. It's almost like a weekly, but sometimes it's a little more or less, and you're into Monday, Tuesday, ends of the moon, so it's a lot different than a weekly. Sometimes it matches up, right? But a lot of times it doesn't. So looking at the daily chart, again, I have my annuals plugged in here. The red is lows, the blues are highs. Again, 2007, like this one here. That's and again, I have little rules that I apply for other trading platforms that I use, but the annuals are pretty important to me. And you can see that I go back a little ways on them once I started the program and researching to set up this program. I just do it automatically. But you can see, Google's had some pretty good breaks. I mean, you got to be a little careful and being stubborn on the trade, because all of a sudden you're down. Let me see, I'm pulling it up now. Let's see. That is 192 days and a 44% hit. So again, that's a great correction, and it happens. Let's see if we plug that in up here. The exact amount, now that'd be 33%, the exact same points down, puts you in about 135, and that can happen. You can see that even back here, it made a little new high, wasn't quite a perfect double top, plunged all the stops, a quick retreat, which is key, broke the swing for the swing traders. So you had several things going on that told you to be awfully careful back in 2021. And let's take a look real quick. Let's go through the whole gamut. Again, this is Google, not the L, not the A. That's good enough. We can kind of see there's a weekly, there's a monthly. Again, it very seldom makes new monthly lows when it's bullish. And when it makes new highs, you don't ignore it either. So again, we have an outside month going now, and it's only February 8th. So either it's going to stop here and honor this uptrend line, or it could continue to break. Let's plug in some different ones. Let's go to like a quarterly. And you can see that the quarterly chart, again, very seldom does it make new quarterly lows. And when it does, it's something weird. Here again, this was that break that we seen at 44%. Here was an anomaly. It didn't close in new lows, which would make me really bearish. It did not do that. And up we went. And then let's look at one more thing. Let's look at a yearly. And again, I know that's ways out there, and I should have pulled up the GOGL. You can see that it very seldom does it make a new yearly low. We match it. You can buy it halfway, cover the closes. This one didn't even get halfway. That was pretty bully. But then it went down. It did poke a low. It didn't close in it, and that was the buy, right? But again, that's kind of information that's important to me when I'm looking to buy the big dip. Are we in a new low or not? Or, is the month coming to an end, and you're going to have a monthly reversal and closing lower below the low. All that data is pretty important to me as a trader. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thanks again. This is Alex with the Stock Matrix program. Have a good weekend.